Why I Stopped Having Sex When I Got Sober, Part 1. While I am easily vulnerable about most parts of my life, this has always been a little harder to share because traditional thinking has always been, if you're not having sex, you must be dead inside. How on earth can you be alive and breathing and walking around like a full human if you aren't having sex? So here's how it happened. They tell you not to have sex for the first full year of sobriety. I didn't really understand why, but I was about to find out the hard way. About 6 months into my second attempt at sobriety, I met, let's call him Rob, because that's what he did, robbed me of my trust. And he also gave me a first-class lesson in love bombing. Part 2 tomorrow. Why I Stopped Having Sex When I Got Sober, Part 2. Rob walked into my life at the perfect time, and by perfect, I mean I was newly sober and a walking wound ripe for destruction. He had just come to LA for work at the TV show where I worked, a true hellscape with a difficult boss, and we immediately hit it off. We should have dinner sometime, he said. He wasn't even my type, but my broken body was aching for hugs, and the male attention I thought made me, so I said yes. Over dinner, he said, well, I do have a girlfriend, but we're breaking up because I'm moving here, and she's staying there. And there it was, the thing that should have made me instantly walk away, but I didn't. Part 3 tomorrow. Why I Stopped Having Sex When I Got Sober, Part 3. I told myself that everyone has ex-girlfriends or relationships that they're getting out of, and of course Rob painted the picture that his situation was already over, especially now that I was in his shiny new photo. Throughout dinner, he dropped love bombs like a skilled terrorist. I can't believe someone as cool as you wants to be with me. I could never get a girl like you. I had heard these before, but I never realized these decrees were deception, just plumping me up like fruit for picking, and I was ripe for what happened that night back at my apartment. I chose me over another girl, a decision I deeply regret and sometimes believe was the root of all the upcoming evil. Part 4 tomorrow. Why I Stopped Having Sex When I Got Sober, Part 4. Having sex without booze for the first time in too long to recall was both exhilarating and terrifying. I was almost too present. It was almost too real, and I was unsure of how to handle all the feels I was feeling. I don't know that I liked it any better as a sober person. My history is too steeped in trauma. That night, Rob and I discussed how he would move in with me, and we'd even get another dog, one that would be ours, together. This guy was so good. But these things would never happen because that one time was all Rob needed to prove to himself that he could get me. And then he started the girlfriend backpedaling that ended with, she's moving here and we're not breaking up. Part 5, the finale, tomorrow. Why I Stopped Having Sex When I Got Sober, Part 5, the big finish. At first I was crushed, but in a different way. After all, we barely knew each other. But something in me had forever changed. After his girlfriend moved here, Rob actually invited me to his birthday party, and I actually went, which I know is psychotic on both of our parts. The second I met her, I felt sorry for her, and that was the last time I saw Rob, except when I unfortunately see him on my TV screen. Narcissists will seek out a strong woman and attempt to crush her for sport. He knew I was sober. He knew the jeopardy. He didn't care. He just wanted to win this round of, I bet I can get her. In the end, sex for me became a game I no longer wanted to play. I put my pieces back in their box, and it lives on a shelf that I can see but don't yet feel the need to open. Maybe I've been lying to myself all these years, but I'm fine without it. I'd rather have boundaries.